Welcome to Final Bow. I'm Kenneth. Today, we pause to honor those remarkable souls who took their final bow, leaving behind memories that still live within us. Through their passion and dedication, they touched countless hearts. As we remember them, we celebrate their journey and the lasting impact they made on the world. Daryl Sheets built his name over many years in the storage auction world, where experience and instinct mattered most. He became known for his bold bidding style and willingness to take risks on abandoned storage units. Over time, he earned respect for consistently spotting hidden value where others often hesitated, shaping his reputation as a confident and strategic buyer in a competitive industry. He later became widely recognized through reality television, where his energetic personality and fearless approach made him a standout figure. His ability to take chances and occasionally uncover unexpected treasures helped turn storage auctions into engaging entertainment. Viewers connected with his authenticity and competitive spirit, which played a major role in popularizing the format and bringing attention to the business behind it. Outside of his professional journey, he placed strong importance on family. He often worked alongside his son, Brandon, sharing both experience and lessons from years in the auction trade. Their partnership reflected his belief in passing down knowledge, hard work, and determination, while maintaining a close personal bond built on trust and shared ambition. His passing marks the end of a notable era in reality television and auction culture. He is remembered for his bold mindset, passion for the trade, and the lasting impression he left on audiences and colleagues who followed his journey over the years. The music world recently said farewell to Dash Crofts, who passed away at the age of 85, leaving behind a legacy that quietly shaped the sound of soft rock for generations. As one half of the duo Seals and Crofts, he helped create a style of music that felt gentle, thoughtful, and deeply emotional, offering listeners a sense of calm in an often fast and loud world. Alongside his musical partner, he contributed to timeless tracks such as Summer Breeze, Diamond Girl, and Get Closer, songs that continue to resonate because of their warm melodies and simple honesty. Croft's voice and instrumental style, especially his use of guitar and mandolin, added a soft texture that became central to the duo's identity. Their music often felt like storytelling through sound, capturing everyday emotions in a way that was easy to connect with. Beyond the recordings and performances, his contribution lives on in the feeling their songs still evoke, peaceful, nostalgic, and quietly uplifting. Dylan Carter introduced himself with quiet humility and a voice that quickly captured attention. On a major singing stage, he shared how meaningful it would be to be chosen by a coach. In an unforgettable moment, all the coaches turned for him. Overwhelmed, he described the experience as surreal, with his emotional performance deeply moving everyone in the room. His music carried strong personal meaning. Growing up in South Carolina, Dylan stayed close to home, which made stepping onto such a big stage even more significant for him. He often spoke about his late mother, who had always believed in his talent and encouraged his dream. After several earlier attempts without success, he finally reached the moment he had been working toward. Performing a song tied to her memory, he sang with deep emotion, and every note reflected love, gratitude, and personal strength. Despite facing setbacks, Dylan never gave up on his passion for music. His breakthrough audition opened new opportunities and helped him grow as an artist under guidance he valued. Although his journey on the show was not long, his performances left a lasting impression. People remember him not only for his voice, but also for his sincerity, warmth, and the way he connected with others through his music. Judy Pace is remembered as a graceful and compelling screen presence, who left a lasting impression on television and film audiences. She became well known during the 1960s and 70s for bringing warmth, intelligence, and emotional depth to her performances, creating characters that felt both natural and memorable. Her work in television included appearances in shows such as The Young Lawyers and Peyton Place, where she demonstrated strong versatility and a quiet confidence on screen. One of her most touching performances came in Brian's Song, which further highlighted her ability to portray emotional truth with subtlety and care. In film, She contributed to several notable productions, including Cotton Comes to Harlem, The Thomas Crown Affair, and Three in the Attic. Each role reflected her range as an actress and her talent for adapting to different genres while maintaining a strong screen presence. Judy Pace is remembered not only for her body of work but also for the elegance and dignity she carried throughout her career. Her performances continue to be appreciated for their timeless quality, leaving behind a legacy of quiet impact and respected artistry in both television and cinema. Nedra Talley Ross. Nedra Talley was born on January 27, 1946 in Manhattan, New York City, and grew up surrounded by music that naturally shaped her love for singing. As a teenager, she began performing with her cousins Ronnie and Estelle Bennett, and together they formed a close harmony group that eventually became the Ronettes. What started as simple dreams soon turned into major success as the group rose to fame in the late 1950s and 1960s with their bold style, powerful voices, and unforgettable presence. Their music played across radios in America, and they became one of the most recognized girl groups of their time, even earning admiration from major artists like the Beatles and performing as an opening act during their 1966 U.S. tour. Despite their success, life behind the scenes was challenging, and tensions within the group and the music industry created pressure that eventually led Nedra and Estelle to step away in 1967. After leaving fame behind, Nedra experienced a major personal shift when she met Scott Ross and embraced Christianity, choosing a quieter, more grounded life focused on faith, peace, and family. She later recorded inspirational Christian music and built a life away from the spotlight while raising her children. In 2007, the Ronettes were honored in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, recognizing their lasting impact on music history. Nedra passed away at age 80, leaving behind a legacy of change, strength, and timeless music that continues to inspire. Jim Carrey's journey is more than the story of a famous comedian. It is a layered human experience shaped by hardship, ambition, emotional struggle, and a long search for identity. From a childhood marked by financial instability in Canada to becoming one of the most recognizable performers in the world, his path shows how laughter can emerge from pain and how success can sometimes deepen inner questions instead of solving them. While audiences often saw energy, humor, and larger-than-life performances, his personal reality included pressure, loss, and constant reflection about who he truly was beyond the roles he played. This story explores how a boy who learned to survive through humor evolved into a global figure who later began questioning fame, identity, and the meaning of success itself, ultimately moving toward a quieter and more introspective life. Childhood roots and family struggles. Jim Carrey's early life was shaped by financial uncertainty and emotional sensitivity, growing up in a working-class Canadian environment where stability was never guaranteed. His father's job loss created sudden hardship for the family, forcing them into unstable living conditions that deeply affected his sense of security at a young age. Living through such unpredictability made him highly aware of emotional tension in his surroundings, and humor became a natural coping mechanism. Instead of expressing fear or sadness directly, he learned to transform discomfort into laughter, using comedy as a shield against embarrassment and hardship. These early experiences did not just influence his personality, but also formed the foundation of his later performance style. The need to be noticed, accepted, and emotionally safe through humor became a lifelong pattern, shaping how he connected with people and how he viewed himself in relation to the world around him. Early influence of his father played a deeply important role in shaping his creative instincts and emotional understanding. He was expressive, imaginative, and supportive of artistic behavior. Even during financially difficult times, Jim observed his father closely and absorbed his natural sense of humor and physical expressiveness, which later became a defining feature of his own performances. However, when financial stability collapsed, it created a lasting emotional impression. It taught him that life could shift suddenly without warning and that security was fragile. This realization stayed with him throughout his life and influenced both his ambition and his emotional sensitivity. His admiration for his father was mixed with early awareness of vulnerability, creating a complex emotional foundation where creativity, fear, and inspiration coexisted. This combination later contributed to his drive for success, as well as his internal struggle to find stability beyond external achievement. Early responsibility and work pressure. During his teenage years, Jim Carrey was exposed to responsibilities that most children do not experience so early in life. Financial pressure forced him into physically demanding work after school, limiting his ability to enjoy a normal adolescence. Long working hours created exhaustion, but they also built resilience and a strong sense of discipline. While others were focused on education and leisure, he was already experiencing the demands of adult life, which shaped his understanding of survival and responsibility. This environment reinforced the idea that humor was not just entertainment, but a necessity for emotional relief. Comedy became a way to mentally escape exhaustion and hardship, helping him cope with circumstances that often felt overwhelming. These years taught him endurance, but they also deepened his desire for a different kind of life, one where creativity could replace struggle and where performance could become a path out of limitation. First steps into performance comedy gradually became Jim Carrey's emotional outlet and creative direction during his youth. He began performing in small venues where audiences were unpredictable and success was never guaranteed. These early performances were filled with experimentation, physical expression, and bold attempts to capture attention. Although results were inconsistent, each experience helped him refine his timing, movement, and ability to engage people emotionally. He learned to adapt quickly, using audience reactions as feedback to shape his evolving style. Even in moments of failure, he remained committed to improving his craft, driven by an internal belief that performance could transform his life. This period was not about fame, but about exploration, persistence, and emotional expression. Every stage appearance strengthened his confidence and helped him understand that comedy could serve as both an artistic outlet and a potential path toward a better future. Moved to Los Angeles and early struggles. When he moved to Los Angeles, Jim Carrey entered a highly competitive environment filled with uncertainty and rejection. Financial limitations made the early years especially difficult, as opportunities were scarce and success seemed distant. He often performed in small or nearly empty venues, facing audiences that were indifferent or distracted. Despite these challenges, he continued to push forward with determination. During this time, he developed a strong habit of visualization, imagining success long before it became reality. This mental approach helped him stay focused even when external validation was absent. The struggle shaped his resilience and reinforced his belief in persistence. Although progress was slow, these experiences built the emotional and creative foundation that would later support his breakthrough in entertainment. Hollywood success and massive fame, the mid-1990s brought extraordinary success, as Jim Carrey became one of the most prominent comedic actors in Hollywood. His films achieved global recognition, and his performances defined a new era of physical comedy. With this success came financial reward, media attention, and intense public interest. However, the speed of his rise created emotional pressure as well as professional expectations. He was no longer just an actor, but a global figure whose work was constantly analyzed and anticipated. This level of fame created a gap between his public image and private self, making it increasingly difficult to separate identity from performance. While success brought opportunity, it also introduced a new kind of pressure that required constant energy and consistency. Pressure of constant performance. As Jim Carrey's fame expanded, so did the expectations placed on him by audiences, studios, and the entertainment industry. Every new film or performance was no longer just a creative opportunity, but a benchmark that had to match or surpass his previous success. This created a cycle where rest and personal space became limited because the demand for constant excellence never slowed down. While the public only saw the finished product, energy, humor, and confidence, the reality behind the scenes was far more demanding. Long hours, emotional strain, and the pressure to always deliver something memorable gradually built up internal exhaustion. Over time, the line between who he was as a person and who he was expected to be as a performer started to blur. This ongoing pressure led him into deeper reflection about what it truly costs to remain constantly visible and always on in front of the world. Experience with method acting. In certain roles, Jim Carrey took acting to an extreme level by fully immersing himself in his characters, sometimes even continuing their behavior when cameras were not rolling. While this approach created incredibly authentic and powerful performances, it also came with emotional consequences. Staying in character for long periods made it difficult to mentally switch off and return to his personal identity. The boundary between reality and performance started to feel less clear, which affected his emotional balance. Although this intensity helped him deliver unforgettable roles, it also created confusion and psychological strain. He later reflected on how deeply a role can influence the mind when it is lived continuously rather than just acted. These experiences pushed him to think more seriously about identity itself and how easily a person can lose touch with their own sense of self when performance becomes a constant state rather than a temporary role. Personal relationships and emotional complexity. Jim Carrey's personal relationships often carried both deep emotion and quiet difficulty. While he was capable of forming meaningful and genuine connections, maintaining them over time proved challenging due to the demands of his career and constant public attention. His work required intense focus, travel, and emotional energy, which often left little space for consistent personal presence. This created a pattern where closeness could exist, but sustaining it became complicated. Over time, relationships would experience cycles of connection and distance, not necessarily due to lack of care, but because of imbalance between personal life and professional obligations. This contrast made him more aware of how fame can quietly interfere with emotional stability. It also led him to reflect more deeply on human connection, understanding that relationships require not just feeling, but also time, presence, and emotional availability that fame often makes difficult to maintain. Loss, grief, and emotional shift. Experiences of loss had a profound and lasting effect on Jim Carrey's emotional outlook. These moments were not just personal tragedies, but turning points that shifted how he viewed life, success, and purpose. Grief brought him face to face with emotions that had often been pushed aside during years of constant work and public expectation. Instead of continuing to focus only on achievement and career milestones, he began to slow down internally and reflect more on what truly mattered. This emotional shift encouraged him to look beyond external success and consider deeper questions about meaning, presence, and human connection. Loss created a space for introspection, allowing him to reassess priorities that once seemed fixed. Over time, this period became a quiet transformation where emotional awareness began to take the place of constant performance, marking the start of a more reflective and grounded phase in his life. Reflection on identity and purpose. As Jim Carrey grew older, he began to openly question the nature of identity and what it means to be successful. He often spoke about how the version of a person seen by the public is shaped by perception, roles, and expectations, rather than complete truth. This realization led him toward a more introspective way of living, where creativity was no longer just about acting, but about self-expression in broader forms. He explored painting, philosophy, and personal reflection as ways to understand himself beyond fame. Gradually, his focus shifted from seeking external approval to exploring internal understanding. This change represented a deeper transformation in how he viewed life, moving away from validation through applause and toward authenticity and awareness. It became less about being seen and more about understanding who is being seen, and whether that identity is fixed or constantly evolving. Conclusion. Jim Carrey's journey reflects the deeply human side of fame, where success and struggle often exist together. His life shows how early hardship can shape creativity, how achievement can bring both fulfillment and pressure, and how personal loss can lead to meaningful inner change. While the world often remembers him for his comedy and energetic performances, his story also reveals a quieter path of reflection, identity search, and emotional growth. From rising as a global entertainer to stepping into a more introspective phase of life, his journey highlights the ongoing balance between public performance and private reality. Ultimately, it is a reminder that behind even the brightest public figures lies a deeply human search for meaning, stability, and understanding beyond recognition and applause. And